What is up? Coach Emma here, and welcome back to the Low Energy Fit Habit Life podcast, where we cut through the noise, talk real health and fitness, sustainable fat loss, and habits that actually work. I am still sleepy. This is the same day as I recorded the other one, but I don't know how much energy I'll have later today to record another one or later this week. So here we are. And thank you for listening. If you've enjoyed the show, if you could rate the show, share the show, or subscribe to the podcast. Something I forgot to mention in the last episode, how to tell if your body's overburdened. If you're inflamed, that is part of it too, like more water retention and stuff. I'm very inflamed and puffy today. I got bags under my eyes. Like just everything feels like... So... For those of you listening, I puffed up my cheeks and went. Anyway, today I wanted to talk about menopause, but also HRT, because there's a lot of crappy HRT providers out there, and I've seen a lot of clients with a lot of terrible results, and crazy side effects and crazy hormonal levels that were basically putting them at a level to where they're transitioning to becoming a man. So I wanted to talk about that, talk about the benefits of HRT, talk about how do you know if your provider is good, and talk about how menopause impacts physiology. But that might be for the next one depending on energy levels. But it's something I've been wanting to talk about. Obviously, I'm having trouble talking, so that's kind of a problem. But let's start with the HRT. I have a client, and I wanted to do this episode or post about this when I had more energy because I'm really passionate about it and I'm really frustrated. I have a client, her testosterone, working with a med spa online. If you want to know which med spa, just let me know. I don't want to publicly talk about them, but multiple clients that I've had who've worked with them have had terrible care. And that's where, to me, they should not be in practice anymore. I don't think I know a single person who's gone through that med spa who's had good results, healthy results. So, her testosterone was 1200. Healthy female testosterone level is about 30 to 60. So that's way higher than it should be. And that's really scary because that's higher than a man's should be. And that's almost transitioning to a man sort of level. If she had left it there, she would have permanent physiological changes. So, 1, red flag. If your testosterone is over 100 as a female, and you express a concern, and they say, don't worry about it, how do you feel? Number 1, red flag. Number 2, red flag, if it's a med spa. I've never seen a med spa administer hormone replacement therapy properly or appropriately. It's a business, and I don't even know why med spas are allowed to administer hormone replacement therapy, but oftentimes they'll use antiquated or more financially beneficial tools, like pellets. Pellets are terrible. That's a number 3 issue if your provider is only giving you pellets. The best way to do testosterone or hormone replacement therapy is through injection. For testosterone specifically, usually estrogen is taken orally or through a cream, and progesterone is always oral. So testosterone through injection or cream, estrogen through cream or orally, and progesterone orally. Those are the best ways to administer those forms of hormone replacement therapy. And you want bioidentical. That's the other red flag. If the provider does not provide you with bioidentical hormones, that's a problem. Problem number 5, I guess we're on. My brain can't count today, so we're just going to roll with it, people. if you're on hormone replacement therapy and you're expressing concerns, and their first step is to add more, that's a red flag. Really big red flag. I've had clients on thyroid medications, and for those of you who don't know, if you have a thyroid, so I have a coach friend who his client doesn't have a thyroid, so that's a different case. If you have a thyroid and you have gut issues, you're going to have thyroid problems. So adding more thyroid medication is not really going to solve the problem. So, just so you know, but I've had this clinic that the client with the 1200 testosterone went to, and another client who was told to double her dose of thyroid because she had low energy, but she had digestive issues. And instead of digging into the digestive issues, the quote-unquote doctor just gave her supplements to take. It's another red flag for hormone replacement providers. They don't ask you about your lifestyle. They don't ask you about your digestive issues. They don't ask you about really anything. They're just run your labs and it's like, oh, your testosterone is low. Let's put you on hormones. That's a red flag because your hormones will improve if your digestion improves, if your lifestyle improves, if you're training, if you're not training and you start training, if you improve your sleep quality, if you improve your micronutrient quality and micronutrients, like all of those things will improve. So that's another red flag. Another red flag is if they're your primary care provider and through insurance. I'm just kidding. This is kind of nuanced, but I don't think I've seen a primary care provider administer hormone replacement therapy properly with any of the clients that I've worked with. I think I've worked with close to 60 plus clients now, and I'd say probably 2/3 of them have been on or needed hormone replacement therapy, at least. I'm trying to think. I've coached at least 60 people or more, probably closer to 70 or 80 at this point. But yeah, the point being, if your HRT provider is through insurance, they're probably not administering it properly. It sounds like there's going to be a big shift. The Secretary of War just announced that they're doing an initiative to provide any military or any, my brain's not working, people who serve our country with testosterone replacement therapy, so it might become more standard and it might be administered properly, but I wouldn't get your hopes up now. And if you've been listening to my podcast, you guys probably know, like, I partner with Rise to work with my clients to help them get appropriate hormone replacement therapy, but also if I can't address the issue and it's out of scope, they will also help with the functional doctor side of things. And so I actually just did a consult with the client that had the 1200 testosterone level. I did a consult with her and the founder of Rise because I'm pretty sure she has mold exposure, given my symptoms and her lifestyle and other things that have happened in her life. Like, she lived in a moldy basement for a while and she gardens and other stuff. So I was like, could be worth looking into. Very similar symptoms as my husband, always hungry, very low energy, probably how I feel right now. Anyway, so we did a consult with Rise together, and yeah, that's because there's some things that are out of my scope that I understand. Like, I can help address a lot of gut health issues and other things, but I'm not a doctor. I cannot diagnose, and I cannot prescribe medications, so that's when I refer out. And I cannot order hormone replacement therapy, which might be life changing for some people. So that's why I partner with them. But anyway, they're a good clinic. I've heard good things about Vita Bella, but I haven't used them myself or with clients, so I'm not sure. But just let me know if you're interested. They do peptides and other things too. But I don't know if I've done a podcast on peptides. I'm going to have Keegan on. She was the doctor that I had with Laura on the podcast a couple episodes ago. We're going to talk about peptides and parasite cleanses and stuff, because she's actually a doctor, and so she can actually use these things with clients. And I wanted her take on it because it's probably the same as mine, but I'm not a doctor, so it would mean more if it came from her. Most people don't need peptides. Seriously, guys, like I was having a conversation with a client, and she's like, I want to go on peptides, or I do lab analysis consults, and I was like, dude, you don't need peptides. Like, you just told me that you've been eating out all the time. She's like, okay, yeah, I just need accountability. I'm like, yeah, so we got started. Because usually that's the case. Like, most people just need a little bit more accountability. So anyway, I do not have the energy to talk about menopause, but hopefully that keeps you coming back if that's what you wanted to listen to me talk about. Or check my Instagram, because I did a post about that the other day. So you can take my take on menopause for fat loss. But anyway, if you've enjoyed the show, this lower energy version of Emma, if you could rate the show, share the show, or subscribe to the podcast. And if you have any questions about anything, feel free to hit me up and ask. I'm more than happy to answer. So I will catch you guys on the next one, hopefully with more energy. Peace.